HoonTV!
Hello, let's do a quick audio test. So here's a weird angle for me. I'm sitting in Frank the Tank. It's been 4 months since I've properly driven this car, because in the time that I've built this, the car's been almost faultless. It's had nothing go wrong with it. And then late last year it had some anomaly happen with the fuel system. No one's fault, it's just it happens, I guess. But been chasing stuff, but I've also been really busy trying to get my head around being motivated with YouTube again. I mean, I love doing HoonTV, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I can't thank everyone enough for being a supporter of the channel and supporting me. And you know, like, you go through these identity crises where you're sitting there going, you know, comparing yourself to other YouTube channels. Like, but then I kind of realized, I'm like, well, they're American, I'm Australian, so I'm not trying to be American. And you know, I'd be lying if I hadn't been told I was authentic before, which I guess technically means boring or monotone. But hey, I'm just being myself. So I guess if you meet me at a car show, at a car shop, buying stuff, whatever, this is me, you know. So I'm not trying to sell you anything, but you know, everyone's got their own thing, and this is me, Mr. Monotone. So anyway, getting back to this, I'm not one of these people that's ever really done the sort of scripted, planned out videos. As you know, with me, I guess working in television as most of my full-time work, YouTube doesn't pay my income. It pays for a little bit of my phone bill. But yeah, working in TV, I sort of do a lot of TV stuff all the time. So YouTube's kind of supposed to be the fun seat of the pants, do whatever I want, whenever I want, without planning, and throw videos together. I've been very fortunate and very lucky to do some stuff that's been sponsored and work with cool companies and work with amazing people and collaborate, and it's sort of, yeah, been a real blessing. But yeah, you know, I want to ramp things up a bit, and I have wanted to for a while. It's 15 years now that HoonTV's been around, so yeah. But today I'm kind of taking it easy, and I've been very, very happy that a big box of stuff, an order that I've got from PAT, has arrived. And it means that the first official upgrades on Frank the Tank since it became Frank the Tank are going to happen. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm basically redoing the fuel system and going again. And that means that it's going to be not 31 years old anymore, and it's also going to be ready for if I do other upgrades. So yeah, and it's all really nice gear. So I'm going to get out of here because it's absolutely stinky hot in here. I've got the top of the fuel tank off, so it's full of petrol fumes, so it smells lovely in here. And I'm going to go rip open the box, see what's in there, and start doing stuff. So here's the other thing, that FG that's out there, my daily at the moment, I did buy this turbo engine for it. I've got a ZF6B there for it, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff, even some stuff ready to go, some lowered springs, some new struts, an X-Force exhaust system, got a Pulsar intercooler there, all just the basic stuff, because it's only going to be a street car. And the problem was that this engine was a bit, a little bit not up to my OCD standards, and probably a bit high mileage, but probably usable. But there was a bit of bearing material in the sump and everything like that. But you know, like I said, probably usable, totally fine. It's a Barra. You know, taxi engines are meant to go forever, but OCD me wants that car to go for a long time and to do some cool stuff. So it's gonna cop a rebuild. So that's there for the meantime. But here is my order from PAT, which is absolutely chock-a-block full of bubble wrap. No, just kidding. All right, so ooh, back to front. So here we go. We have some Raceworks fuel rails to suit Holden. So that is an L77 engine in Frank the Tank, which is a VF Series 1 6-litre. Start loading stuff up on the bench here. This is my new outdoor doing stuff bench. These here are very cool, upside down, but they are a -8 bulkhead, but an angled bulkhead. So I'll show you in a bit. That's going to go into the top of the lid that goes into the tank. So there's an in and an out, like at the hamburgers. No, just kidding. In here we've got some other bits and pieces. There's also some stuff for my drag car in here, which is awesome. We've got some pressure sensors like that, and there's a sensor block there. So I'm going to put the drag car stuff separately over here, lay all this out on the bench, get rid of this big box here. I've got some dash plugs here, which are for the rails, for the ones that aren't being used. In here we have a fuel pressure regulator, which is the larger one with the -10 ports in it. I have a liquid filled gauge for that, so I'll get them out afterwards. Obviously I'm not going to unbox everything right now. I have line spacers, which are very cool. I think I got about half a dozen of them I ordered, so let's get all them out. Some -10 to 8 ORB to dash fittings, so you know all the Raceworks part numbers there. You can see it's a 08-10 BK, which is black. Got some more sensors for the drag car, so we've got 2, and they got the plugs with them, so that's a pressure and temp sensor, so I'm using them for oil and water. This one here is and this is obviously getting off track, but this is the map sensor, obviously, and it's a 8 bar, and I'm actually using that one for the accumulator to measure the air pressure in the accumulator on the air side. But anyway, this is Frank Tank video, the drag car can be another one. This here, which is the 10 micron fuel filter, which has got the mounts on it, so it can screw nicely up under the car on the rail or something like that. And then more fittings here for the fuel lines. So these can go straight into the fuel lines, which is great. I've got a whole selection of stuff because this stuff's all so affordable and easy to get. And I've got straight fittings as well. And then finally, in this box here, which says hose, you would assume that it's hose. So get rid of Mr. Big Box there. And if I can open this from the right side, 10 meters of hose. So this is super nice stuff actually. So yeah, and look, Teflon lined because you know, E85 and all the good stuff. Yeah, the box is made from cardboard carbon fibre. No, it's just, I don't know why that's there, but it looks pretty cool. And some nice stickers. So I lay everything out, basically got a full fuel system here, and you're going, hang on a minute, no you don't, what about the fuel pump? All right, let's walk in here in the dark, and I'm going to go like this. So there's a drag bike, there's a race bike that just went on the dyno, had all sorts of dramas with the carbies, took them off, came home, put the other carbies back on, and then they flooded the engine, so I just went, screw you, and just pulled the carbies off, cranked it over to get all the fuel out of the engine, and I went, bug you, I'll get back to you later. So lots of Barra stuff here everywhere, CBR parts, it's a mess at the moment, but it's just normal for me. Yeah, the drag bike there. Maybe some plans for that, but also, you know, that's in a bit of a holding pattern just because I've got so much on. The drag car there with much more progress, but I'm going to do a video and update that very soon because there's some more stuff happening, especially over on the bench there and other bits and pieces and some of this blue bottle action stuff. But here, all right, here's what's going on. This is the Land Cruiser, a bit grubby, but this is the hanger plate that goes into the tank. Obviously it's got the fuel level gauge. I did have a Walbro pump in it, and so this is why this isn't in a box, because I did put this Raceworks pump in there just to check to see if it was the pump that was causing the problems. It may have been, I'm not sure. It had some sort of current draw thing where it was blowing fuses, but regardless of the fact, I put this in and noticed straight away that the fuel pump was way quieter, and apparently these ones draw less current. So I've pulled this off here again because this rig is getting modified, and what I'm going to be doing is, so there's 3 lines that go into this. Now you're asking what they are for. One is the pickup obviously from the fuel pump, which goes up to a banjo fitting normally, and then the other one is a return, which is a 6mm or quarter or whatever you want to call it. And then there's a 10mm 3/8 size one here that just sort of splashes into the tank. Now that one is normally the one that is used when the car has 2 tanks in it, so it's a transfer one. So what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be drilling out the tops of that one and replacing them with the bulkheads, and then they're a nice 90-degree bulkhead, and they will go into the tank and basically hook up with this and all work nicely, and then the 6mm one is not needed. What I'm gonna do is make a start. Maybe I'll just unbox some stuff and work out what I'm gonna do first, because I've got to take stuff apart and then put stuff back together, but I'm already 10 minutes into this video and YouTube tells you you should keep your videos short, so yeah, sorry for waffling. So I'm going to be attacking this first, and ideally, like the thing I've just mentioned, is that replacing this with a proper billet plate that utilises the factory gasket and all that sort of thing. Also, because there's 2 screws on there as well, utilising the factory level sensor would be amazing. Depending on, I mean, if you're going aftermarket dashes and all sorts of stuff, doesn't really matter, but a replacement drop-in, because this whole big metal hanger here is a bit overkill, but it's factory and it's a Land Cruiser, and they were designed to survive world wars. They're just over-engineered and amazing. But anyway, this will be going in here, about through there. So on this one here, I'm going to have to get in there and trim that one down. And then this one here, I'm just basically going to cut that one off there and there and drill a hole through it. So yeah, I guess I'll get into it. And this one here, this is the 90-degree bulkhead, which is RWF 8350806BK. Let's get into it and do that. I'm swiveling it around like an idiot. I've cut this one off here and the one off the bottom. The only thing is because unless I'm going to move things, that's quite close to that tab there, but regardless, that one there, I'm probably just going to squish it in and then weld it and seal it up because it's in a crappy spot anyway. This one's going to go here. So what I need to do now is basically work out where my nut fits, where it's not going to collide with the rubber gasket, which I've taken off to protect, and that can go in there. And basically it's only going to have a hose on it that'll just dangle down and spill fuel back into the tank. So I reckon around about there, I'm going to grab my texter, which is here, draw a line and yeah, put a hole in it. 13.8. Alright, I've done a bit of work on this. That pipe there's welded on, the small one, so I've sort of left part of it there, but I've also crimped it and tacked the end of it. The old transfer one there, I've cut the bottom off and I've put a bit of weld in the top and the bottom just to seal it. Could have probably plated it over or something, but the main thing is with this is I do think that this is going to get replaced with a billet one. So this is kind of like a prototype really from just the factory steel one. Those 2 holes now fit the bulkheads, are in good spots. This one here will feed straight down to the pump using the original bracket. So I've just gone over it and scotch-brite it a bit. I'm going to try and tape it up as best as possible, give it a hit of black paint, and then I can start reassembling it. It's not beautiful, but it's going to work. Next job, while that one's drying, what are we going to do? Have a look at where this is going to go, I reckon. So let's grab that and swing it into the engine bay. So I've got to take the factory rails off, which has got like one set up anyway because it's got a crossover rail on it. Move a couple of things out of the way, but effectively the other one should go straight in. I'm just trying to work out where this could go. Ideally up in the back of the firewall would be perfect, or down there next to the booster, but I want the fuel lines to come up the other side of the car, so I don't want to run them across or anything. So I'm tempted with this bracket here to 90 it and then to mount it up here somewhere. So it'll be nice, close and convenient, the rails, and yeah, the fuel lines can go pretty much straight down and around the outside of the cold side of the rail, keep away from the exhaust, all that sort of stuff. But what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the rails, because then I can work out where the fittings need to go. So that can come afterwards, because proximity wise I've got a bit of room to move. I can put it other ways, should look pretty good. Rails are off. Injectors are there. We'll take this cover off, reveal what's underneath, maybe. Might look a bit better. Only no brackets holding on, so let's have a look. There is one stupid bracket on the back there though, damn it. We've got that sort of dummied in there, and I'm gonna go put the center plug in there because I won't be using that because you never get to it, and I'm gonna put the brackets on it which go inwards and use the factory bolt places and trial fit it. Day 2. This is the finished, for the meantime, fuel setup. It's got the pump there, it's got the feed line and the return line, and the other ones have been sealed up. And yeah, and for the meantime as well, I've also got what I call a temporary wiring setup because I had some issues, so I've run a whole separate fuse and relay to isolate that system. This is a piece of hose for no reason. So I'm going to put this back in and get ready for when the lines go in. one down. So I might have skipped ahead a little. So anyway, I just went and kind of did it all because I was running out of time, but here's where we're at. It's all in, I'm happy. It's no show car job, but there's a lot of stuff going on here. So I've got the reg in here, rails are in. It's now a circulating system, so it goes in and around and then back into the reg. So it comes up out of the tank into the rail. And then inside, that wiring that's getting changed. A bit dark in here, but those two started up, no leaks. We've got 60 pounds of fuel pressure, and then underneath a filter. So time for a road test, and I'll run around the block, see how it goes, check the fuel pressure again, and check for leaks. And always when you're working on fuel systems, yeah, another exciting video by Boxer.